coming up on Sports Night.
Northwestern football looks to make it 3 wins in a row on the road against the struggling Rutgers Scarlet Knights in New Jersey. And the women's soccer team closes out their impressive regular season campaign. Honestly, Andy, being a student at Northwestern has been so difficult this year so far. It's Halloween. We have World Series in full force. The NBA season just started. I don't know how to juggle all these things.
But Ben, you got to calm down, because you know why? Sports Night starts
right now. After that intro video, I am super hyped up. You're right. I'm super excited for Sports Night.
Yeah, you feeling a little better?
A little bit.
Yeah, well, you know who else was feeling a lot better after last weekend? The Northwestern men's football team traveled to New Brunswick, New Jersey last Saturday to take on the struggling Rutgers Scarlet Knights. How would the Cardiac Cats do against the Scarlet Knights? Let's take a look. First drive at highpoint.com Stadium. True freshman Isaiah Bowser getting involved early with a run up the middle for a first down. Later in the drive, Clayton Thorson drops back, avoids pressure, and finds Bowser again to pick up a first down and keep the drive alive. And to cap off the drive, who else? Bowser punches it in and puts the Cats on the board first as NU leads 7-0. Later in the first, Joe Gaziano breaks through the Scarlet Knights offensive line and sacks Rutgers' Arthur Sikowski. Now, in the fourth quarter, Northwestern trailing 10-15 with just 8 minutes to go. Isaiah Bowser steps up again and puts the Cats back up by 1. But 1 point was not enough for Coach Fitzgerald. Thorson scrambles and finds Flynn Nagel for the 2-point conversion. And that would be enough as the Cats would win it 18-15. Let's take a look at Coach Fitz postgame.
Pitcher goes out on the bump, warmed up great, had a great week of prep like we did, and then you go out and all of a sudden things maybe not working the way you want them to work. And you still got to find a way to just keep inching towards the end and finding a way to get the win or get it to your bullpen in baseball terms. But
I was happy about that, but I got to play better. And you know that's the bottom line. I don't think I played as well as I know I could have and should have. So. That's on me, but you know, it was a great team win.
I'm joined alongside Ella Brockway from the Daily Northwestern. Ella, thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
So Ella, Northwestern just barely defeat Rutgers last weekend, but struggled for most of the day. What did you see from the Cats?
Yeah, so inconsistency has been a huge theme of this 2018 season so far. Northwestern almost lost Saturday's game against Rutgers, and that was a perfect example of that inconsistency. It was a win, yes, but it was an ugly one. That same team, the same Northwestern team that did beat a top 20 Michigan State team on the road, could barely score and almost gave away the game to the country's worst scoring offense. But the main message that I've taken away from Northwestern after that game is this team is always looking to find a way to win, and they're going to fight to find a way to win. And I think that message has been spread throughout the Northwestern camp this week.
So now Northwestern is a big game against Wisconsin this weekend. What do you think they need to do to beat the Badgers?
So how Northwestern deals with Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor is going to definitely be one of the biggest factors in this matchup. The Cats gave up more than 100 rushing yards to Rutgers, a team that really struggles to move the ball last week. And dealing with Wisconsin's rushing offense, which is the top in the Big Ten and number 4 in the country, is going to be a definite challenge. And Northwestern's going to have to try to limit Taylor exactly like they did last year. Last year they only held him to 80 yards. But keeping him or limiting him in that game and finding some more strength from Clayton Thorson, another 400-plus throwing yards game would be good like Nebraska, but we'll see.
Now, it's kind of hard to believe, but Northwestern is at the top of the Big Ten West right now. Now, do you think if Northwestern can pull off the win this weekend against Wisconsin, do you really think they have a shot at winning the West?
Well, the road to the Big Ten West does run through Wisconsin, and that's been a known fact ever since the Big Ten moved to geographic divisions in 2014. And right in front of our eyes, this division is turning into one of the best divisional races in college football. Northwestern's currently at the top of the division with a 4-1 conference record, 4-3 overall. So Northwestern still, if Northwestern can pull off the win against Wisconsin, they're still going to need a win over Iowa on November 10th to truly claim that division. And Wisconsin and Iowa, the two biggest threats in the division, still have games lined up against Penn State and Purdue in the next 3 weeks, and especially after Purdue's upset win over Ohio State this past weekend. Purdue's going to be no easy feat either way, but Northwestern really just needs to focus on beating Wisconsin for now. So.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ella.
Thanks so much for having me.
Former Northwestern basketball star Sanjay Lumpkin was selected 21st overall in the 2018 NBA G League draft by the Erie Bayhawks, who are an affiliate of the Atlanta Hawks. This comes the summer after Lumpkin's first professional season overseas in Belgium, where he played in 36 games and averaged just over 10 points and 4 rebounds per game. During his time at Northwestern, the former Wildcats captain finished with 126 career starts and helped lead the team to its first NCAA tournament in program history. Bayhawk season starts their season tomorrow night.
Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with soccer, golf, swimming, and a rock talk from our very own Chris Burton.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
All right, good job, guys. Thank you, Ellen.
Are we supposed to hear
We
anything
can.
here? There's no words.
We will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Andy, the show's going smoothly so far, but what the viewers probably don't know is that it's your first time anchoring. How do you feel so far?
It is my first time anchoring. It's been a blast so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time with you so far. I'm glad we've both settled in here to Sports Night, and let's go get the rest of this broadcast.
Well, we have a lot to come. Let's get into women's soccer. Women's soccer tried to build on their strong stretch as of late with games against Illinois and Iowa. Even though they would fail to make the Big Ten tournament, the past couple games were extremely important for the Wildcats' chances of making the NCAA tournament. Cats get ready to face Illinois in Evanston at Martin Stadium here. With over 33 minutes to play in the first half, Northwestern's Marissa Vigiano gets the pass and sends the ball over to Brianna Livera, who handles it above the 18, fires a deep finesse shot from 22 yards out, gives the Cats the 1-0 lead. But here's Marissa Vigiano once again with a chance to contribute a goal of her own as she takes the free kick and places it in between the wall to put the Wildcats up 2-0 with just under 30 minutes to play in the second half. Illinois wouldn't go down without a fight, though, as they avoid the shutout with a heading goal off a corner kick. It was too little, too late, and Northwestern went on to survive this one 2-1. On to Northwestern's final game of the regular season against the Iowa Hawkeyes on the road in Iowa City. The Cats found themselves in trouble early in this one with 35 minutes left in the first half. The Hawkeyes get a good opportunity here with the ball in the box and take a 1-0 lead early. Wildcats would have to play a little defense here with 30 minutes left in the first frame. After another beautiful cross into the box, Devin Burns challenges Mackenzie Wood, but she would save it. Now, Iowa had the ball in their own third late in the second half, but Marissa Vigiano would come to the rescue with a steal. And is she going to pass? No, she's going to take it all the way and bury an absolute laser to save the Wildcats. This game ends in a 1-1 tie. Northwestern's women's golf team shipped out to Stanford, California last weekend to compete in the Stanford Intercollegiate for their final tournament of the fall season. The Cats were led by freshman Kelly Sim, who posted her first sub-70 score as a Wildcat. Sim made 4 birdies and an eagle to card a season-low 2 under 69. Junior Brooke Riley and senior Stephanie Lau also had big weekends and were the team's top individuals, finishing tied for 11th. The Cats would come up just short, finishing 3rd out of the 16 teams, and they will be back in action February 10th in Rio Mar, Puerto Rico to play in the Lady Puerto Rico Classic.
The Northwestern men's soccer team played their final 2 Big Ten regular season games this past week. The Cats took on the Wisconsin Badgers and 13th ranked Michigan State. Let's check out how the Cats matched up against the Spartans. Here we are at the Martin Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan, as Northwestern goalkeeper Mika Miskovic warms up and looks to get his 8th shutout of the season. Early in the first, Michigan's DeJon Jones tries to head it, but is stopped by Miskovic. That's his first save of the game. Later in the first, Northwestern takes a corner shot, but it's shut down by the Michigan State goalkeeper Jimmy Haig. Now in the second half, Miskovic intercepts a cross pass to keep it scoreless and send it to overtime. Now in overtime, Michigan State's Wintu takes a shot, but it's saved by Miskovic to send it to double overtime. Now in double overtime, Cody's sweat shot is somehow saved by Miskovic, which would be good enough to earn him his 8th shutout of the season as the Cats would tie the Spartans 0-0. The men's soccer team's search for its first conference win of the season will have to wait a little bit longer. In double overtime, the Cats were stunned by the Wisconsin Badgers 2-1. Wisconsin's Noah Milik netted home the game winner in the 103rd minute, assisted by Zach Klanick. For Northwestern, Jose Del Valle scored his first goal of the season off an assist by Sean Lynch. In goal, Mia Mistovic put on a stellar performance for the Cats with 7 saves. Not to be outdone, Dean Cody had 3 saves of his own for the visiting Badgers. If you are not a fan of physical play, well, this game was definitely not for you, as there was a combined 19 fouls between the two teams and 2 yellow cards. Northwestern takes on in-state opponent Concordia Chicago tomorrow at 7 p.m.
The men's swimming and diving team faced off against Michigan last weekend in the 400 free relay. Andrew Zhang, Liam Gately, Peter Lusick, and Ryan Gridley finished as runner-up.
The Wildcats took to the pool Saturday for their season opener against third-ranked Michigan for the first time under new director of swimming and diving, Jeremy Kipp. Sophomore Calypso Sheridan started off the day strong by bringing home 2 individual wins in the 100 and 200 back, while senior Olivia Rosenhart secured a win and 9 points in the 1-meter event. Miriam Guevara also took second in the 100 fly with a time of 55.63 seconds and scored team points in the 100 back. The Cats are back in the pool at home tomorrow night against UIC.
This week, we're bringing back in an old fan favorite, the Rock Talk. Our very own Chris Burton went on a mission to ask Northwestern students the question that mattered the most. Here it is.
Over the years, a few Northwestern athletes, Clayton Thorson, Brian McIntosh, Justin Jackson, have become household names. But with all the D1 sports out there, it's tough to remember all the athletes. So I'm here at The Rock playing a little game called Are They a Wildcat? First question, is Sam Clemens a Wildcat?
Sure.
Nope, that's Mark Twain.
All right.
Number 1, is Rachel Lewis a Wildcat?
No.
Yes, she is. She's on the softball team. Is Rachel Lewis a Wildcat?
Yes?
Yes, she is. She's on the softball team. Congratulations.
Oh.
Number 2, is Rachel Ray a Wildcat?
No, she's a chef.
She's a chef. Number 3, is Ray Lewis a Wildcat?
Yes.
No, he's an ex-NFL player. All right, question number 3, is Emma Ruby a Wildcat?
Yes.
Yes. She is right there.
Oh, okay.
You got 3 out of 3. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Take some Oreos.
Oh, yay.
Well, it looks like Northwestern students really know their Wildcats. That's all for Are They a Wildcat? I've been your host, Chris Burton, and we'll see you next time.
Coming up next, we're approaching the home stretch of our night, but it's not over yet. We have field hockey analysis, volleyball, and tennis after the break.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Go you Northwestern. Go Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
The 17th ranked Northwestern's women's field hockey team played their final 2 games of the regular season this week, taking on the number 2 ranked Maryland Terrapins and the Ball State Cardinals. First, let's take a look at the Cats in College Park. Here we are at the F&H Lax compound in Maryland as Northwestern gets set to play. Early in the first, Eva Van Ock goes right through the Terrapins defender and gets the Cats on the board first as they lead 1-0. Later in the first, Maryland's Keely LePlace swerves through the Wildcat defense before finding first-year Bibi Drach to tie the game at 1 apiece. Now in the second half, Bibi Drach scores again to give the Terrapins the 2-1 victory over the Cats. After that tough loss to Maryland, the Cats headed back home for senior day at Lakeside Field against Ball State. Early in the first, Sarah Biss finds Larkin Berry for the opening goal to put the Cats up 1-0. The second half now, Cats lead 3-1. Puck Patena scores off the penalty corner to put the Cats up 4-1. Now, just a little later, Mackenzie Keegan deflects a shot from Puck Patena perfectly to give the Cats a 5-1 lead. And then, with just 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, Puck Patena scores again, completely taking over the second half, and rightfully so on her senior night, as she scores her 11th goal of the season, and the Cats win 6-1.
We'd like to welcome field hockey reporter for the Daily Northwestern, Greg Svirnovsky, to the desk. Greg, did I pronounce that name right?
Yeah, you did. It's actually really hard to pronounce. It's long and Eastern European, so I'm glad you got that right.
Oh, thank you. But thank you for coming to the show today. We got some questions to ask you, obviously.
Right.
With the regular season coming to an end this past weekend, what are some of the positives that Northwestern can take away from this past season?
Yeah, there's 2 big takeaways, and one really comes from the record. The other one comes from our offense. So we're 9-9 on the season, 3-5 in the Big Ten, which isn't that great. It's not really where you want to be for at-large tournament seeding. But the thing is, we've lost 4 of our games actually in a row towards the end of the season. 1-goal contests against Big Ten teams. If you think if 2 of those results switch, a really big chance of doing a lot better. So I think we've been competitive in all of our games, and that's to our credit. But the other big thing is penalty corners. I really wanted to emphasize that for the viewers today. Northwestern gets a lot of its goals off of penalty corners from Puck Pantena and Kristen Mansfield, really good offensive players with good passes and good shots, but they tend to struggle a little bit defensively. And that's something that Tracy Fuchs, head coach, told me she really emphasized in practice with the team. She says they're about 40% better this part in the season than they were at the beginning.
So obviously it sounds like you've watched a lot of field hockey. Out of all the players that you've seen throughout the season, who impressed you the most?
Yeah, two really good players I wanted to talk about. The first is Puck Pantena. She's got 11 goals in the season, the senior from the Netherlands. Got 71 shots. Her goals total, 5th in the entirety of the Big Ten. Her assist total, 2nd. But Kristen Mansfield, she's the other one I really wanted to talk about. They're both two players that are integral to our penalty corner offense. Kristen has 13 assists, which is actually 1st in the entirety of the Big Ten. So we look like we have really good offense, especially off of those corners, and that's helped us.
Well, the Wildcats are traveling to Ann Arbor this upcoming weekend, actually Sunday, to play the number 8 Michigan Wolverines. And this is part of the Big Ten tournament, so this is a big deal. But what can the team do to pull off some type of upset against the Wolverines this weekend?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question because I actually don't even think that this is that much of an underdog-overdog contest here. I think Northwestern has every chance to be competitive in this game, every chance to be really successful, and the biggest reason is because of our contest against Maryland last week. You know, we went into College Park, played a tough game, number 2 in the entire country on their turf, and we lost 2-1, but we actually outshot them, forced 9 saves out of their goalie, and that's to our credit.
I can honestly say that my eyes will be glued to the computer screen for this game. Thank you so much for coming on, Greg, though. You guys can all follow Greg's work at dailynorthwestern.com. Thanks again for coming.
Hey, thanks, man.
Junior Aubrey Roberts has been named the Big Ten Women's Cross Country Athlete of the Week for her 20-minute and 10-second 6K finish at the NCAA Pre-Nationals in Madison, Wisconsin last week. Roberts was one of just 37 runners to break the 21-minute mark on the day and finished 3rd on the Thomas Zimmer Championship course, leading the Cats to a 15th place finish overall. This is the first Big Ten weekly award for Roberts in her collegiate career and makes her the first Northwestern runner to win a weekly Big Ten award since Elena Barham in 2013.
It's been a year to forget for the Wildcats volleyball team, but it hasn't been all bad for Northwestern as of late. They took an 8-game losing streak in Big Ten play back home to Evanston, and let's just say the result was different this time around. Home sweet home at historic Beardsley Gym as the Wildcats get hyped up before their matchup against the Michigan State Spartans. In the first set, Michigan serves the ball to Northwestern, and it's played by Alana Walker, and she's set up for the spike, but it's handled by the Spartans, and they're trying to make something happen, but Britt Bomber gets the block. Later on in a match point situation, the Cats take the serve by Maggie Haggerty. Britt Bomber comes through again to set up Ella Gerbach. Now Northwestern will serve here, and this sets up an attack error by Michigan State's Nia Gross. Ella Gerbach blocks the spike to earn the point for the Cats. A match point here for the Wildcats. Britt Bomber sets the ball up for Nia Robinson, swings it home, and the Wildcats get their first win of Big Ten play. Trying to build on their sweep of MSU, the Cats would come back to historic Beardsley Gym, and they'd wear pink jerseys for Dig Pink Night against the Michigan Wolverines. But here, Ella Gerbach places it perfectly and gets the kill and the point for Northwestern. But in the next clip, looking impressive in this when Michigan's Paige Jones wins the point and gets the kill. In the second set, the Wildcats slow down the tempo once again. Britt Bomber effortlessly sets up the ball for Nia Robinson. Wildcats would come so close to taking the second set, but their hopes were shattered in this match point situation where Carly Scote dropped it in to take the set. And the rest of the match was all Michigan as Paige Jones gets another kill and the Wildcats would lose in straight sets.
The Northwestern men's tennis team had an impressive showing at the ITA Midwest Regional Championship in South Bend, Indiana last weekend. The Cats were led by sophomore Nick Brooks, who reached the 3rd round in singles before falling to Alex Kovic of Illinois in straight sets 6-3, 6-3. But that wasn't all for Brooks. He would go on to pair with first-year Simon Brotham and make a run to the quarterfinals before falling to Ohio State's Martin Joyce and Mark Tubert. The Cats are back in action this weekend as they travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the Big Ten Indoor Singles Doubles Championship.
The women's team had their own International Tennis Association tournament. Their run at the 2018 Midwest Regional came to an end on Monday when first-year Clarissa Clarissa Hand fell in the semifinals of the singles draw. Hand beat Michigan's Gia Pyrone in the quarterfinals 7-6, 5-7, 6-3 to advance to the semis. Julie Byrne also made it to the quarterfinals but fell to Chiara Lammer of Michigan. Northwestern's next matchup is at the Oracle ITA Fall Championships in Surprise, Arizona.
Fencing is finally back on campus, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 1,080 days. As Northwestern's fencing team hosted the Classic Remick Open this past weekend in the new Ryan Fieldhouse. The Cats showed up strong with 11 Wildcats placing in the top 10 of their events, including 5 first-year fencers. But the story of the day was junior Pauline Hamilton, who went 6-0 in pool play and won 5 straight elimination bouts, defeating former NCAA champion Margarita Vincita in the finals 10-9.
After the break, it's the most exciting 45 seconds of the day. Plays of the week are coming your way.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline.
It's the best time of the week. It's time for Plays of the Week. Coming in at number 3, Northwestern men's soccer taking on Michigan State in double overtime. Northwestern goalkeeper Misak makes an incredible diving save here, but the Cats would go on to tie in overtime.
Now, I talked about this number 2 play earlier. This was the finesse shot by Brenna Livera that helped the Wildcats win this one 2-1. What a shot.
At number 1, Northwestern football at Rutgers, Isaiah Bowser plows through the Rutgers defense to lift the Cats to an 18-15 win over the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Andy, we got through your first show of your sports night career. It's sad because now we're back to reality, schoolwork, and balancing all those sports that we were talking about earlier. But the show's over. Until next time, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at NNN Sports. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful night.